Tonight is our 3rd anniversary, which we're very excited about. Thank you. My creative partner, David LeBaron, who will be our first performer tonight, and I, a couple of years ago, sat down together and we talked about the fact that there weren't really any good LGBTQ performance spaces on the East Side, where you could really have like kind of theater mixed with performance art. And we got to thinking that it might be fun to start something like that. So we didn't have to go to Santa Monica or go to West Hollywood to see the kind of performance we wanted to see. So that's how Apartment 3F began in January of 2011. Coming up for our next 2 shows, we have Queerwise on February 9th. Yes, Queerwise is an amazing group of LGBTQ elders. They'll be reading their poetry for you, and that's a special Valentine's show, so don't miss that. Also here at Akbar. In April, we will be having the next Stephen Rain show. And I don't know, have any of you seen the other Stephen Rain shows? Yeah. He's done an amazing show. And if you know the last show, which was, the first show is called The Whole Story. The last one is called Come As You Are. And this one, just to give you a taste, is called Cocktails. So you can guess what the subject is going to be. So if you do not already follow us, we do have a Facebook page. You can look us up online. It's APT space 3F, Apartment 3F. But tonight, we have a very special show for you. And since we started our night here at Apartment 3F, there's been all sorts of great queer performance stuff happening in Silver Lake. We have the Spirit Studio now. We have Planet Queer. We have amazing stuff going on. And one of the most ardent supporters of what we do on the East Side is Robert Patrick. And that alone, in my mind, makes him a hero. But there's actually a lot more to this man's story that's worth celebrating. In fact, for over 5 decades, Robert has been producing and writing gay theater, novels, poetry. He's been a formative influence, actually what many people consider to be the first gay theater space in New York, the Cafe Chino. In just this month, yes, right? Yeah. Woo! Just this month, in the very academic Gay and Lesbian Review, there's an article that recognized 2 playwrights as really being groundbreaking playwrights. The first playwrights to recognize gay people in their own right. And Robert Patrick was one of them. His play, The Haunted Host, was one of the first 2 plays in the country to present a gay person on stage, not as a victim and not as a closet case, but actually as someone who was a person in their own right, someone who could actually be an aggressor or a protagonist. And that was really groundbreaking for its time, 1964. Since then, he's had a lifetime of writing novels, plays, poetry. I could go on and on and on. I'm a professor. I'm not going to do that. But what I do want to end by saying is that in his retirement, Robert's shown us he just doesn't really know what retirement is about. Because he's still writing, he's still producing and directing plays, he's here filming and photographing all the different gay performances that happen in Silver Lake, and he still even writes reviews for gay porn. So he knows how to spend his retirement. He does not know how to take a break. Now, enough of that though, that's just a quick intro. Let's watch some theater. Before I do anything else, please turn off anything that makes noise. Phones, beepers, people you have under your chair, whatever it is. Make sure there is no noise during the show. So I essentially have curated the night tonight. It's a collection of 5 samples of Robert's work over his career. And the first piece tonight comes from Kennedy's Children. Kennedy's Children was the first play that kind of catapulted Robert to international acclaim. In 1973, it was playing on the West End, and it was also getting cast on Broadway. And so David LeBaron will be performing the part of Sparger. We're at the beginning of Act 2, and we find ourselves inside Phoebe's Bar on the Lower East Side of New York on a rainy February afternoon in 1974.
The truth is, I know a place that's better. It was a little hole-in-the-wall West Village coffee shop called Akbar. Yeah. We did plays. We made a living peddling coffee, pastries, and greasy sandwiches, and then twice a night, we did plays. I was one of us, sort of them, there, then, the buffa. We were the first place to do that. You know, the first place where you get together with theater and you do it. And not because you wanted to review and become a star, to go to Broadway, or to get a goddamn grant. But anything else is godforsaken gonorrhea dream good world. We did it because we wanted to. That's it, honey. We got away with it by calling it a coffee house. It was a temple. I was 16 and I was bleeding. I was naked from the waist down. 3 sailors had picked me up on the Jersey Turnpike, and when they found out I wasn't a real girl, they got rough. Well, I was a mixed-up kid, and they mixed me up a little more. They tore off my skirt and worked me over with my Skull-Rara cork-sole wedgies. Let me face down on a rusted spring of mattresses in the West Village on this little side street. I started out a blow. So had the sailors. Oh, but then I was lying. I don't think I could have even gotten up unless I'd heard this music. This classical music, this opera music. And I was sick, I was beaten up, I was bleeding, I was covered with shit and cum, and I thought I lost one of my eyes, and so I naturally thought I was hearing my offstage death music, like some fabulous character from Tennessee Williams. So I thought I'd better run for it. But before I could run for it, I had to get up. So I got up. I could blurrily see people in cars passing at either end of this street thing. And all I could think of was that this bum, this gay bum who lived in the diner by where I was from in Jersey, and if we would give him a cigarette butt, he would cackle and tell us about a shock therapy treatment in Bellevue. But he couldn't say the v, so it came out well-woo. And I was like, I thought I'm about to go to well-woo if they catch me standing, strutting around half naked in Greenwich Village. So, up I got. I crawled down that alley like a alligator! Reaching, because now I had a goal, now I had somewhere to be. I had to get to that joint and stop that infernal opera music! So, half stripped, bleeding out the ass like Dylan Thomas. Hair wrapped in turban, wooden grips raining. I trailed gore right up to that ditzy doorway, and there were flashing lights everywhere, and above the door it said, Opera Buffo, in green and gold glitter. And I fell against the door, and the doors fell open, and I would have fallen flat on my face, but my turban got caught on this mobile thing hanging in the entrance. So there I was, gulping at my hair, yelping for someone to help me, and down in this insane room, there were people, figures, shadow figures coming towards me. On the walls were all these, like, layers and layers of posters and magazines and classical reproductions, and I thought, who are these people coming towards me? And they came into the light, and they were wearing the most insane things. One was dressed like a circus clown. Another was from a kid from the Nazi youth movement with a silver glittered swastika necklace. And then there was like a Romany gypsy, and on the stage was this blonde, like the birth of Venus dancing with a quadriplegic amputee. I thought I clicked. And then the clown, Buffo, had those big beard, these huge eyes. And he said to me, "Stop at the show, we got a customer." And I said, "Turn off that goddamn music." And he said, "What? What? Stop at a castativa, that's not a very ladylike thing to say." And the Hitler Youth came over and started freeing up my hair from the mobile thing. And I said, "Listen, sir, lay off the lasagna and get me some pants." And the hair was free and I ran, I don't know where I got the energy. I ran down that insane room to the back between the blonde and the amputee, and I grabbed the record. And I smashed it, I broke it, I danced on up and down, and then I fell to the ground exhausted into the arms of the Nazi, the gypsy, and the clown. And on the ceiling was a crumpled poster from Montgomery Flag saying, "Uncle Sam wants you." And then Buffo, the clown, said to me, "Mamma mia, we got another one, and also not have enough money to feed ourselves." Because he knew, that I was going to stay. Always. Always. Bufo was a ballet dancer who got too fat. And well, he couldn't go home because apparently you're not supposed to be Sicilian and a ballerina. So his family bought him the cafe and kept Bufo far out of sight. Well, anyway, after my ungainly entrance, Bufo found this cute little Red Cross number and gave it to the Hitler Youth to take care of me. And of course, he immediately ripped off the Red Cross and put another swastika. Corso was his name. And he put a little teardrop under his eyes and changed my bandage in his Well, nothing that I really needed was broken, so I was over here in about a week. And Bufo said, "Oh, don't worry, you'll be tap dancing again in no time," which was a joke because he loved rockets. So I studied tap. I bought myself a 25-cent Fred Astaire used paperback, and I learned how to tap. So one day, before the 9 o'clock show, I stood on stage and I announced there was going to be a prologue to tonight's evening to the 3 NYU students and the Caribbean astrologer in the back. I cued Corso to turn on Mac the knife, and I took center stage, and I did my 2 time steps for 15 minutes. Getting myself, the audience, thank you, like that was transfixed. Bufo came out of shock and ran onto stage, announced to everyone, next week we'll do the full 4-hour version. Then he threw a pie in my face, and I covered his head in ketchup, and he slapped me with a raw fish, and I kept them down. He went on point and pirouetted. Well, long after he got so sick of waiting, they come on to do their dance, but there was no stopping us. So Bufo came at me with every insult he had from his upper repertoire, and I came back with every wisecrack from the 4 million 1930s Calenda musicals. As fate would have it, that night, there was a critic from the Village Voice in the audience. He was there looking for deaf-mute boys. He wrote up that we were the latest thing in drama. Well, we got so busy after that review, we had to hire a waiter. And that guy, and so then we had to hire a dishwasher who was also a host and a frustrated set designer. That man had revolutionary ideas in lighting, costumes, and menu layout. It was right about then that the mid-60s just passed, I think. Because it was 1966 when I finally had a day off. In hospital, yes. When I realized that there were 125 underground theaters. That 3 of our playwrights had books coming out. 1 was on Broadway, 1 had a television show, and 1 was in the hospital with ulcers. And that was the first time I had off in all that time, because right about then is when the vultures, no, not vultures. Vultures eat dead things. What eats living things? Hyenas? No. Oh, piranha. Right about then is when the piranha came in. You see, the Bufo was established by exiles, rebels, nomads, fabulous types of people. And now that the establishment critics have reviewed us, we attracted the real rot, the psychopaths, and the rejects. We didn't get the real dropouts, the real rebels. We got phonies and frauds from uptown who wanted to go downtown and do it was interesting a year ago. The amount of work was ridiculous and insulting. It was maddening. But we would do it, and we would go on and on. And then I found out that Booth and all of his friends who I had admired for their energy, verve, and fabulosity were really just on speed. And I had been killing myself trying to keep up with them. Well, then Bufo turned to the harder drugs and let his junkies do that kind of theater in our space. We were like, what were we like? We were like sea creatures washed up on the shore by the tide and removed from our element. No, not really. It was more like we were sea creatures helpless to leave our element as they got poisoned by grime and muck. Bufo hardly came around at all anymore. He was so drugged or crazed. insane. And Corso, Buffo's lover, couldn't take it any longer, and he split. And then Buffo got really upset because he didn't know who to blame for anything, and we found out later that, well, Corso had died in a motorcycle accident. And Buffo wasn't allowed to go to the funeral, and so he would disappear completely. Now, you must know, of course, the place is illegal. So we didn't know who to pay off the way Buffo did. So they started laying on summonses. Oh, ridiculous amounts. $1,000 a week, $2,000 a week for a place that could barely clear 100? Oh, it was maddening. But it got to the point where all these people, all these horrible, horrible vegetable people kept arriving in droves at the theater. And they came to us. It was this little island of health in this insane, sterile, morbid, plague-ridden planet. They just came the way I came. The way I came. Oh, the way I came. More and more and more left. And finally, there were just a few of us, and we would set up and scrub and wait tables and clear plates and do a show if one didn't show up. And then we'd sleep on the stage, unpaid, waiting for Buffo. He'd come crazy, screaming, help me, somebody help me, they're after me. And he said he threw chairs at us, kicked us all out, said he was moving to church or building a church or raising an Atlantean temple. And then he'd leave. 7 of us went out one night looking for Buffo. Buffo came back to the Buffo. He closed the gates and put on Casta Diva. And then he took a hatchet and proceeded to cut off his hand. He tried to cut off his foot. He hacked away at his neck and his face. And he finally succeeded in opening his stomach with 44 whacks, as it were. His guts fell onto the floor, and he somehow managed to have the strength to chop them up. I got the job of cleaning up the blood. The hospital reported that day they had more blood donors than they've ever had since the Second World War. Buffo lived 4 more days and died on Corso's birthday. Neither family would let them be buried together. The critics, they named an award after him. This has been recorded. You have 60 seconds to make a message.
In 1990, Robert released Hello, Bob, a play about his experience producing Kennedy's Children on Broadway in the West End. And he traveled the country during this time lecturing and watching different productions of the play. The entire play is a series of monologues addressed to Bob, the playwright. Performing 3 monologues for you now, we have Gordon Vandenberg, Lizzie Turner, and Brendan Schuchart. Emasculate, effeminate, possible. Oh, incredible. Oh, Robert, dear boy, at last. How did your interview with the Time go? Oh, I mean, beautiful, I'm sure. Oh, and dear Mark, did you just get bales and bales of ever so hard to find rock and roll records? Good. Oh, break, everyone, break. And you too, Mark, please, if you don't mind, let the staff show you that enchanting little place we get your delicious American coffee. Just let Papa alone for a bit so I can have a word with my playwright. Yes, thank you. Now, Bob, we have got a conundrum, a problem to work out before we read all those girls in the lobby. I'm not worried about them. We've been seeing splendid women. But, Robert, how in the world are we going to cast your blasted soldier? I mean, the boys I auditioned this morning, I just...
horribly endearing. Completely incapable of expressing ugliness and aggression. No, and then that one boy, the most promising juvenile in America, so we're told. Oh, no. Terminally banal. Just bland. The personality of a whipped margarine. He read your paranoid, kill-crazy, megalomaniac, drug-addicted, religious fanatics, foot soldier, as if it was some particularly cloying commercial for Putin Pops. I let him beam his way through 3 of your terrifying lines until I just had to scream, no, young man, no. You are not here to host a game show. You are on LSD, in a jungle, awash in assassins, wading ankle deep in the guts of a Kong that you have just killed. And with your anger and outrage, you bellow your defiance of God! And do you know what our young pup said? Oh. Thank you. And then he ruffled his well-barbered bangs to indicate cosmic despair. And then recommenced to read like Mickey Rooney wishing us a happy Christmas. We didn't have this problem in England. Aren't American men trained to do anything but charm? I understand now why you insisted on bringing Jack and Todd over to England to act. You cornered your culture's market in men with balls. Which brings us to the matter at hand. I'm sorry I shooed Mark away like a little school child. But I just don't know how much he knows about your personal past. All right, I have to tell you, one of the young men we're reading tomorrow is Todd. He's here. He phoned just now, and he's in New York. He's left the cast in London and flown himself over so he would have a chance to read. Not that Todd needs to read after 6 months of playing the busboy and watching Jack do the soldier 8 times a week. Yes, he's too young and he's too short, but we can rescale the furniture on his side of the stage so he doesn't appear as a child in front of the rest of the cast. He really, there are no other viable options. But, okay, here's the point, Robert. Actually, if the situation between you and Todd and Jack, and for all I know now, Mark, makes it psychologically untenable to sit through a rehearsal with Todd and focus, we'll veto him. Without a thought. He really is all we got at this point. There's that one film kid coming in from California. Who knows if he can even do stage? Oh, no. Robert, how is it? Such a great part is such a conundrum to cast. How is it an allegedly avant-garde playwright dealt me a type that seems to be extinct? Robert, please do tell me, do correct me if I am wrong. But did I not hear there is a William Inge revival happening in this country? Because if there is, will somebody please tell me, where do they find the studs? All right, we're back, people.
No, don't hug me. Robert, I was trying to avoid you. I just can't go back in there and watch your second act. Oh, I brought you these flowers. Now I just don't know. You invited me to a preview, but I feel like I'm having a flashback. God, she is me, isn't she? That unbelievably young woman playing the hippie. God, I just wanted to yell, don't go on the March on Washington! The pig beats your husband and he gets hooked on morphine. Or don't bring your big scrapbook with you to Woodstock. God, Norwegian journalists just steal all of your letters from Dylan. Yes, Dylan. Did you hear what your audience was saying in intermission? Please. Those are the people who set police dogs on me, and now they're praising you for capturing my essence. Hey, did you catch the go-go fashions they're wearing? Please. Designers leaned out of windows on 7th Avenue with Poppy, but we were on our peace marches. So today, these matinee fascists can come in their tie-dye denim and cheer me on the stage, but then laugh at my clothes in the lobby. God! I'm not sure that you're not the worst of them all. Those are the minute particulars of my real life. And you made them into some universal symbol. I'm completely forgotten. But hey, I'm on the West End and Broadway! Girls are paid to play me. And I'm taking in piecemeal sewing jobs. Robert, if I write my life now, someone will call me a plagiarist! I know in my heart that you love and revere me. But you know in yours that you're standing there listening to me. All you're hearing is one more dynamite monologue!
Wow. Was that good? Was that good? Come on, that was good. I mean, I like that. I mean, I don't let just everybody do that to me, but God was so hot. Oh. Nah. I like you old guys. You all like me so much. So where are you from? Oh, New York. I've been with a guy from New York before. He got me hot too. Do you think I could make a living there? You know, doing what we just did? I mean, I hear guys get killed there and stuff, but I know I'm going somewhere besides home. Say, you think maybe you might want to take me back to New York with you? I mean, I might do just about anything for someone who could take me to New York. Well, then where are you going? Oh, yeah, but passing through to where? All right, be mysterious. That's fine. I can be mysterious too. Sure I can. Like, for instance, my name, it's not Kevin.
No, I entered a bunch of dick magazines in my database, and it turns out that the most popular name is Kevin. And I deduced that's the name that gets guys hot. So does it work? What do you think? I mean, should I get dressed, or maybe we could take another shower, or what? I don't have nothing to do till 4 o'clock. Oh, I got class. I go to college over to the university. See my jacket? You lectured there? When? I didn't go there then. I'm just a sophomore. You know, I look older. So what did you lecture about? I don't think I know anything about theater. No, I'm into computers. I do just about anything for someone who could teach me about computers. Listen to this. So say you come into a class to lecture, and I just happen to be sitting there up front, and you get all hot, and like right there in front of everybody, you get a stone cold hard on. What do you think about that? Oh, what do you mean you don't do that no more? What do you think we just did? Oh, you don't lecture no more. You don't lecture no more. Well, why not? Didn't they pay you enough, or? Oh wait. You're talking too fast. You're talking too fast. Hold on. Say that all for me one more time. You decided to quit because you realized that you were just a token liberal to assuage the guilt of a bunch of fascist tools? You boys from New York. So, how'd you get my number? The Advocate? Yeah, I figured it was safe to advertise in there because ain't nobody around here is gonna read that. Or if they is, they ain't talking. I wouldn't do it with anybody from around here anyway, except for maybe some of the professors, if it'd give me grades, but I get grades on my own, so fuck them. Or don't fuck them. You know what I mean. So, you gonna be around for a while? You maybe want me to come back? I get better. No, this place is all right. See, they call it the Nightcap Inn, Nitekap Motel. Spelled backwards, it says, let them pack it in. What do you mean, somebody else? Where did you find it? The bus station? Huh, how about that? I didn't know I had competition. Yeah, I can be talked into hanging out for a little bit. How much? Sure, yeah, that's great, but I don't think I got much left in me, if you know what I mean. Oh, hell, yeah, I can do that, but you can't have much left in you. Really? How about that? And the gentleman of your advanced years, too. He's ready to rock and roll. So, what do you think? How'd you get so hot? What do you mean you got nothing else to do? I hate when you old guys get so mysterious. All right, cowboy, you got nothing else to do? Let me show you. You guys from New York, y'all. What do you mean you're not not from New York. You know what does it matter to me? I don't care where you're from. I know where you're coming from.
Quick note of interest, for the 50th anniversary of the Haunted House, first play, the one that was the groundbreaking gay play, for the 50th anniversary, they are producing it in Palm Springs. So if you're out there, check it out. So our next piece is called After. After Brunch was written in 1990. And it is a scene about a gay couple, and they've just finished hosting brunch, as per the title. And so please welcome to the stage Martin Matamoros and Stephen Rains.
Was that not the most scintillating, witty without being snitty brunch since the legendary days of the MGM cafeteria? Husband, did I not seamlessly integrate your construction crew cronies and my reprobates? Husband, I have made for us a home in Indiana. A 20th Century Fox film starring Gene Green, June Haver, and the adorable Lon McAllister.
Honey.
Yes?
Leave the dishes.
Oh, what?
Here. I wrote a poem for you.
A poem? Like Bill Travers wrote for Jennifer Jones and the Bears of Wimpole Street?
I guess. Listen, this poem is called The Wild Brunch. Or, let's not say we did.
All right, ready when you are, CB.
All these brunches drive me batty. Your brunch bunch is coy and catty. But I bet you'd like this laddie to learn to play their games.
If you could.
So, I've studied the old film section, which seems to be their predilection. And I present for your inspection my mastery of movie names.
Good boy.
It's Betty Davis, but Bette Midler. Betty did Eve, and Bette did Fiddler. Bette got bigger as Betty got littler. How am I doing, Coach?
Divine.
It's Rita Hayworth and Susan Hayward. Both were redheads, both were wayward. So which one's better? What's the gay word? Butter me that brioche.
You fool!
Both Kim Novak and Kim Stanley and Kim Hunter were all manly.
Bitchy.
But frankly, darling, they blend blandly into a Kim tone mass.
Oh dear.
Maria Montez wore a turban.
Yes.
The fat soprano was Dina Durbin.
Stout, dear, stout.
The great Joan Crawford was always urban.
Boy.
And women named Hepburn and Hep Glass.
Bravo.
Truman Capote had Errol Flynn. Natasha Lytess had
Marilyn.
Rock Hudson probably had all the men.
One hopes, right?
Yeah, Gina Lola
Brigida
was really bald. Robert Taylor cooed when Tyrone Power called. James Dean had a torture chamber installed. Mae West was a male imposter.
Just rumor.
Greatest of all was Greta Garbo. Greta wasn't built like Adrienne Barbeau. In fact, Greta had a movie star beau.
John Gilbert.
Prettier than she was. Poor Lee Remick played the Omen. Sweet Gene Simmons was frequently Roman. Tab Hunter starred in That Kind of Woman, which rumor has he was. The brunettes Cher, the blondes Madonna, they never dated, but they're probably gonna. Honey, baby, I don't want to play these games no more.
But you're good.
Who do you think the Colts are picking? Think the Braves will take a licking? Call me names like Claude or Chicken. Call me names galore like Honey, Bunny, Baby. Those are the names I got into this game for.
Honey, baby, I love you manly, like Marlon Brando playing Stanley. To keep your love, I will leave movie games behind.
Please do.
From now on, I live in our love life, in the solid realm of reality, and will leave behind film frivolity and faggijolity. If my man doesn't mind.
Honey, that's all I ask.
Oh, baby. Honey, bunny. What a fool I've been. You're right. I've been social and selfish and unfeeling. But I'm leaving all of that superficial cinematic outlook behind and focusing on a real, true happiness with my man. Me. Just like Norma Shearer and the women.
In 1981, Robert wrote a play entitled Michelangelo's Models, exploring the gay desire that drove the great Renaissance artist. In this scene, directed by Robert and featuring Jason Jen and Ian McKinnon, Michelangelo is distraught at home after making a drunken pass at the handsome young Duke and fears for his life and future if exposed. His servant boy, Agnudo, comforts him in his moment of loss.
Oh God, oh God, oh God! Tommaso! Lord Cavalieri, come back! My Adam! Oh God, no, don't come back! Oh, you non-existent God, what have I committed? Oh,
You gonna want some more of this wine, sir?
oh, Nudo, get away! Oh God, what have I done? I'm packing. I'm leaving Rome.
Oh, no, sir, you can't leave. Pope Julius wants you to start painting the Sistine ceiling tomorrow. He says you have to, he'll gather all the assistants and implements for your titanic undertaking.
I thought you couldn't read.
I asked the guard to read it for me. I wasn't going to give it to you if it weren't something nice.
Oh God, trapped. Oh God, what have I done? Oh.
You got the young gentleman drunk and tried to fuck him, and he wouldn't, that's all.
Yes, that's all. How will I face tomorrow?
Sir, you want to take yourself up to bed and get up early and see the Pope? And I'll clean up all this wine and stuff?
No, leave it. No, I'll take it to bed with me. Oh, God. Oh.
Sir, are you suffering?
I'm not suffering anything unusual, Nudo.
No, sir. I mean, what every man suffers. You ain't had any of those young boys in here the whole time I've been with you, that's all.
Yes, that's all. I haven't been working. I will be now.
You're gonna have that awful Tondo in here modeling you with all his clothes off?
Yes, Tondo and his ilk, if I can afford them and if I can stand their company.
Sir, what you gonna paint on that there ceiling?
The most holy and revered saintly company of the apostles.
Oh, how you can take them ilks like Tondo and turn them into that? Well, that ain't no more, no less than a miracle.
It's not a miracle, Nudo. Shall I tell you what it is? It's a lie. A terrible lie that I'm going to help our rotten religion foist off forever because my paintings don't peel like Leonardo da Vinci's Tondo.
I ain't Tondo, it's Agnudo.
Oh, please forgive me. Oh, to be sure, Signor Agnudo. Oh.
That's all right, sir. It's getting dark.
Oh, no, forgive me, Agnudo, I insist. Agnudo, I'm going to unfurl the same old celestial lies of honor and obedience for all to ogle and make it with my models, meanwhile in the muck.
You oughtn't have to do that, sir. It'll be beautiful what you do.
With Tondo? I suppose he's all right.
No, sir, with the pictures. I mean, you shouldn't have to do it with no tone deaf.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Wait for Archangel Gabriel to descend and lift his skirts?
No, sir. You shouldn't have to do that. You come up to bed with me and I'll take care of you.
You? You, peasant mud?
Yes, sir. That's all right. It'll be fine. You come on up to bed now.
Well, why not? Yes. Yes, that would be quite appropriate. And I'll raise your wages tomorrow. How will that be?
You don't pay me no wages, sir. You already gave me some shoes.
Well, we'll buy you a pretty little pony then. Is that the usual thing?
I don't know, sir. Hush up now and come on up to bed.
Yes, why not? The model for my David is a filthy street whore. I'm whoring myself to the Holy Father. My Adam is a teasing drunken slut. What is more fitting than that I should take a hulking, handsome houseboy and make him a whore?
It ain't whoring, sir. I wants to. I ain't had nobody neither.
Well, then let's have at each other. Yes, let us practice lying together and think of it as love.
Think of it what you will. Thinking don't make no difference anyhow. When he gets down to it, it's all the same. Unless you happen to like the bugger.
What? Do you know what I'm going to spew across Pope Julius's sacred ceiling? You! Ignudo! Ignudo's buns! Ignudo's breasts! Ignudo's balls! Cock, cock, cock! Julius! I am gonna festoon and loop your roof with ignoble genitalia!
I get to pose? Oh, master, hurrah! We'll be together forever! At last I get to be with someone I need who needs me!
Oh, Ignudo, that will be quite enough.
Yes, sir. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Oh, Ignudo!
We have Robert's most recent play. It's a short piece called 2020 Vision. Written and produced in just 24 hours for an overnight play festival last year, 2020 Vision answers the question, what will the year 2020 look like? With a perspective on some of the issues overlooked in the fight for gay marriage. Please welcome John Cantwell, Jillian Easton, Hank Henderson, Monica Howe, and the playwright himself, Robert Patrick.
Yeah. Sweep up the hair and close the barber shop. I don't know what you're also all fired and ready to go home to married life for. Marriage ain't what it's cracked up to be. They'll learn. Oh, they'll learn. Well, let's see what's on the news.
Hi-yo, Austin! It's tell-all, all-around roundup, update, dateline line feed, or tell all-around roundup, dateline feed. And tonight's update is that at midnight on this date, exactly 1 year ago, in 2019, Texas became the last state in the Union to ratify gay marriage. From 1 year ago, here's what the Lone Star State's all-star opponent of homos on the range, Reverend Minister Cleric Pastor Dr. Booker Moses, had to say about this bill.
Doom and disaster are impending, are in verity upon us now. This satanic, sapphic, sodomaic abomination of same-gender degeneration will has brought upon us doom, plagues, disasters.
But Reverend Minister Cleric Pastor Dr. Booker Moses, there have been plagues and disasters since the beginning of time.
That's how long these deviants have been planning this scourge.
And here's how God's country's first homophiliac homebodies, Austin's capital gay couple, Amelia Eversham and Luce de la More, responded.
We're so gratified to be ratified.
Don't make jokes.
Gratified to be ratified as the last state in the Union's first union in sacred sisterhood.
Yes, sweetheart, and now, let's
light of my life, we'll be going home after our connubial rights are cemented on the steps of the Capitol.
I want to be married at home.
And so the twain were entwined in the vision of all video viewers, while the Reverend and his flock marched back and forth screaming, ba, ba, ba. And all these parties rejoin us tonight on Tell All Around Roundup Update Dateline Line Feed, or Tell All Around Roundup Dateline Feeds Update.
Pollution, illegal immigration, epidemic overpopulation have followed this detestable detente.
How could overpopulation follow gay marriage?
Our happy homo home life has brought only bliss and beatification. Tell them, honey lamb.
You tell them, and let's go home.
We'll march home with our gay sisters and brothers who have joined us in wedded bliss.
I don't want to march anymore. I want to stay home. I said I'd stay home.
Well, our brethren and sisters will come to our home for an historic celebration.
It's not our home anymore. We don't have a home. All we have is headquarters.
Lover.
We don't have a home. We don't have privacy. All we have is you on the news. You on the street corner. You staying out all night demonstrating. I can't stand it anymore. I want a divorce.
Sublime, sanctified, suffering saint, shrive your we the apostle of his sin, slash and lash his fetid flesh, for having duly doubted the power of your putrefaction. The serpentine sinners whose demoniac manipulations brought this infectious incarnation of vileness upon your vassals have festered, ruptured, and erupted the unspeakable intestines of their foul philosophies, feverish fantasies, and shown blindingly brightly that their joining in satirical simulation and sacred bonds cannot, will not, shall not, must not endure.
But do what? Divorce? But I've got a grandstand set up in the backyard. I rented microphones. Networks are coming. Cable networks. You can't do this to me.
Damas and caballeros, niños and niños, herders and hard hats, and all the ships at sea, you heard it here. The Heartland Symbolic Spokesperson's first anniversary Gal Gala will be held in Splitsville. Wait. The teleprompter is telling me promptly. Whoops. It's a slip-up. It's a slip-up update exclusive. The county clerk's office informs us that, and I'm quoting verbatim, Mr. Tell All Around Roundup Update Dateline Line Feed, or Tell All Around Roundup Dateline Line Feed. I'm sorry, y'all. I took a gander at the statutes, and we was in such a damn fool hurry for Texas to be the last state to have a first union. We done and went give them homosexuals ratification, but it didn't look like we didn't provide no proviso for divorce for them. No sirree. Once the Ellas and fellas got married, one of them eats to the other one, they're plumb stuck. I'm so sorry, y'all.
Whoa. Wait a minute now. No divorce? No. This divorce must be. This divorce was made in heaven to sever the bonds made from hell. This divorce must be the divine domino that topples the multifarious emulations of its original evil and unbinds the befouled bonds which by all rites, regiments, and rituals belong only to couplings with definite genital distinctions. They must be divorced.
I don't believe what I just heard on transit TV. Are you telling me our state legislature had the savvy to give us our rightful rights, but didn't have the brains to include what any sensible state body would have realized was part and parcel of it?
Right thee, witch!
Luz Lacrimosa Delamore Evers.
Don't call me that.
What's your name, sweetheart?
I don't want to hear that.
And mine is Amelia Barker Eversham Delamore forevermore.
Uncontaminate. Uncontaminate.
Did you hear what that pack of illiterate, inconsiderate so-called legislators did?
Law in the hands of the Lord. Law in the hands of the Lord. What have I done? What has your humble servant done that this overwhelming omission should be allowed? They must divorce. They must be disallowed.
Shut up, you Billy Graham cracker.
You and your eternity, you and your evermores. It's taken 20 years since I was a little girl for us to get this far. And Texas will never admit it's wrong. Texas took 20 years to get abortion and 20 more to get rid of it. It'll never go back and bite its tongue and say no gay marriage. And I'll be an old woman like you before that's around for giving us divorce. We're stuck together forever. You wanted us in hell? Well, this is hell, and we're stuck in it.
My dearest, darling, dolphin stumper.
Don't say that.
Writhe in hell. Repent in hell. Scream in hell. Scrawl and scream in hell. Wait, what did you say?
Oh, you heard me. Or you didn't hear me. You never hear anything, either of you, but your own egos. I want out of this. And I'll never get out of this. I just want to be free and go back and cook at the Dude Ranch for the rest of my life.
Back? You want to go back? You want to go back there? Oh, you want to meet other women, don't you? You want to meet other rich women.
You don't know what I want. You don't care what I want. This is the utter end of my life. This is the beginning of death. I am bound to you. Bound for permanent perdition.
Bound, you say? Perdition, you say? Permanent?
You're hearing all of this exclusively. Are you hearing this? Am I hearing this? Are we actually experiencing this exclusively on Tell All Around Roundup Update Dateline Line Feed or Tell All Around Roundup Dateline Feed?
Shut your blowhole.
Yes! Ja, si, ja, oui, jawohl! Oh, creator and curator of all confusion, yes. They must be fused, used, abused. They shall not be divorced. Thou hast seen fit to elevate these archdemons into the consecrated connubial chaos and to condemn them therein under the anguish end of the wretched, wrenching, pathetic, passing, anguished existences ere they are interred in the Dantean depths of Abaddon to perpetuate their pain even beyond that which mere mortal Mary Methodists all know.
What in the name of all ordinary rationality are you blathering on about?
You can't be divorced. You won't be divorced.
Honey, we can work it out.
You what?
We can work it out.
No, not you. Him. What are you saying?
You who thought to desecrate and destroy our wedlock from within shall in its stead be thereby destroyed.
Don't you see, darling? This is a sign we're meant to be together.
So you can be famous. So you can be first. So you can be foremost. So you can be on TV. So you can be on t-shirts. So you can demonstrate and deliberate and demand.
No, so I can be with you. Only you. Remember the things we said? Do you remember the things we did? Don't you remember the day we went?
I remember believing you. I remember loving you. You never loved me. You loved the limelight.
You are the light of my life.
You're such a jukebox.
Darling, all I wanted was to make a world where we could be safe, where we could be strong, where we could be sweet to each other.
You never thought of me. You just thought of the whole world.
But you are the whole world to me. You always will be.
Then what did we need all these rites and ritual rigmarole for? We were together ever since that night under the Dude Ranch moon.
And I meant every word I said.
Then let's get free of all this.
What?
Let's get a divorce. We don't need the law to tell us we can love each other.
Is that really what you want, Sugar Paw?
You're all I want, Sugar Mom.
Well, let's go, honey.
Let's go where? Oh.
No, honey, we gotta march for the right to divorce.
I'll never change, Willie.
I'll never change, and I'll never change you for anyone else, even without the law allowing it.
Where do we put those placards? Where do we put those magic markers? Where do we put those bullhorns?
Well, honey, you put them up.
I always have to put everything up. You expect me to take care of everything and know where everything is?
But heart of mine, mate of my soul, that's because you are my everything.
And now...
No, wait a minute. Hell no. The sacred summit of severance must never be allotted to the hordes of hell. We cannot prevent you from being married, but by God, You shall not sully the sacred ceremony of divorce. Gays must be forced to marry and remain married. I must summon my flock. I must summon my followers. I must summon my fellow believers in the before and the beyond. These mythological monsters must never be allowed to desecrate divorce. Come, somebody take me to my microphone. Take me to, where is my makeup man? Hey, they must never be allowed to sever the sacred bond of divorce. Never, never, never.
We want to sever.
Never.
Please, phone the number at the bottom of your screen and tell me what really happened to the love of existent or non-existent God. Please call, tell, all around, round up the Dateline line feed, and tell all around Dateline, and confirm what my senses are telling me.
I don't know why they're so hot to have divorce. Divorce ain't only cracked up to be. They'll learn. They'll learn.
And now for our closing number, Robert Patrick is going to do a special song he prepared for tonight. So please welcome
People tell me I look young for my age. I said that's because you've never seen me try to step up onto a platform. I want to thank, in alphabetical order, Akbar, Apartment 3F, Andrew Hankes, and David LeBaron, the cast, the company, the crew, and the crowd, and above all, a man without whom there would be no Akbar, no Apartment 3F, no Planet Queer, no Spirit Studio, no Modern Theater, and especially no gay theater, a man named Joseph Chino, who in 1958 pointed at the floor of his Cafe Chino and said to us playwrights, "Do what you have to do." This is Joe Chino's song. When boys come down to Greenwich Village, they don't come to rape and pillage. They're just looking for a little fun. Now I think it's an artist's mission to encourage youth's ambition. So let me cast some light upon your son. Papa, 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 papa. When boys come crawling to my door, you never saw such worms before. They want me to teach them to fly high and be a butterfly. I was fated late or soon to be everyone's cocoon. But when I unwind, oh me, oh my, he'll be a butterfly. It seems that I was meant to be a circus tent, to shelter orphans from the storm and keep them warm. But every bud that trims my decorated limbs must be shaken off so he can try to be a butterfly. I never have been proud. My bed contained a crowd. Mine's not the generation that created overpopulation, but every bud that trims my antiquated limbs must be shaken off so he can try to reach the light he is transfigured by. And be nor bird nor bee to be a butter, be nor bird nor bee to be a butter, be nor bird nor bee to be a butterfly.
got me honey with a slide.